Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Biggening Corporation. We're on our 41st episode, and I realized today that when we look at our list of to-dos for minimum viable product, some of these are not actually specifically required for minimum viable product. Refactor is a good idea, but that can go down. And then I realized the item database. I talked about how I really want to get items into the system, and that makes sense and all, but the items in the upper tiers of class 2 and 3 require assembly bots and manufacturing bots. We haven't built those. Away they go. This is somewhere down here towards the end of version 2, because that's all part of the assembly and manufacturing world. Doesn't matter. So that gives us an interesting shortlist. Just the research UI, which is what we're going to do today, and potentially just bopping over some GDPR flags, which is just me going through the tables and modifying some of our tables that are going to have some player-specific information. And that's, probably going to be about 30 seconds of stuff. Name, it's pretty much just update this table, so we'll do that real quick during the episode sometime a little later. But from a what do we have left sequence of things, because we don't have assembly and manufacturing yet, and therefore we also don't have tier 2 and 3 items yet, we don't really have a whole lot of research to do. I want to introduce the idea of research and the functionality of research to a small extent in the early stages of playtesting, because I think that that's valuable. It's going to be an important framework as time goes on, but it's really, it's kind of more deep game. So that'll have us down to just the permissions thing, which, let me tell you, I've spent some time between now and the previous episode fighting with that. I am not going out of my mind. I found OpenAL issue 4490 for the curious here, but I found an open issue that when you export permission sets or PowerShell to export them or anything like that, you can't import them again. They're the wrong format. So I'm not going out of my mind, and I was even going to the point where I was testing out going into the permission sets and using the import tool and trying to bring them back in, and even with the import, it was not bringing the permissions in. So I am just baffled at what the strategy thinking is. I literally created a new permission set. Let's see, this one right here. I edited that in the product itself, exported it from the product in about 3 different ways, and every time, no matter what I do, if I say go ahead and package this extension up, blam, it doesn't match any definition. Well, I have no idea how to get it to match a definition then. So what am I supposed to do with that? They don't show up in the permission set in the system when I publish it. I do not understand. So for those of you who are watching along, if you have created a custom permission set for your extension and you've done it through the XML system in the extensions, please let me know. Give me some guidance here. I am just bananas level lost. For the purposes of our playtesting, I will go through the laborious, annoying, and painful process of editing them here right in the system, and get that all up and rolling. And I will potentially start looking on Twitter over the course of the tomorrow and the weekend, seeing who would be interested in participating in our version 1 test. So tomorrow's episode is going to be a little strange in that it is going to just be a live recording of how do you play with the state of the game as it is. So that'll be our focus for tomorrow. So Now, with all that said, let's think about what do we actually need, want to have, all that stuff in the research area of the system. So let's go take a look at what we got. Because we created the framework for having research set up, we have not done much of anything to actually execute on. Now that you've unlocked it, what happens? So I should probably fix that. It doesn't do anything at the moment. You can't queue up research. You can't see what research you've already unlocked, I think. Yep. So there's some work to do in this area of things. So we've got some prerequisites as well. We don't, to my knowledge, have anything that will consume those prerequisites. So I think we've kind of bitten off more than we can chew with the research engine for version 1. So that's fun. Alright. Well, alright. Let's see here. So, reviewing a little bit of what we did, we created the framework here for the research can have bonus types. Operation bonus. What does that link to? What in the world? Oh, okay, so this is a an operation bonus to a specific bot template, allowing us to create a bot template research component that speeds up all sales bot tier 1 type things. Okay, yep, alright, now I get it. Now I'm following. And now we've also got the operations per day bonus, we've got the bonus type, the power per day. We don't have upgrade kits made. That's going to be part of tier 2 and 3, so we don't have to worry about the upgrade codes for now. So any research bonuses are going to be towards bot templates, which towards the second half of the episode, I think we're going to need to wipe and clean up some of the data, because we really actually do want to have the tier 1 and 2 and maybe even 3 of the core bots for a version 1 playable game. Okay, and then we have some prospect multipliers. We've got theoretically the ability to unlock item categories and product posting groups. That's all cool. But that's also going to be tier 1 and 2. So, alright. So, yeah. Alright, let's do some research things. So first of all, we are going to need to hook into that bot function that we have to get the operations per day and get the power per day, and look up if, for a given bot, if these bonuses apply. Okay, that sounds fine. What are our options that we left for ourselves here on the... Hello? Do we make those non-editable fields? What? Hang on. Okay, so this is going to be all part of the research setup side of things. So if we go look at our research table, I'm guessing this is the master. Yep, cool. Yep, and we have a to-do here to link to upgrade kits. We don't have any upgrade kits for now. Alright. Yep, so we've got the bonus power stuff. Those aren't marked non-editable. Are they marked non-editable here in our research setup page? Okay. It's driven based on research type. Okay. Oh, that makes total sense. Okay, so we have a different setup over here of what does it impact. Okay. Alright, cool. I don't think we've implemented really anything other than whether or not you can edit these columns. Alright, so let's see. I think I'm not sure what we were looking for bonus power logic here. Are we like doing a multiplier of it reduces it by 20%? I honestly don't remember the thought process on the power bonus. Is it -1? What are we going for? Okay, so in our short list then, I think all we're going to do for now is just a handful of researches for each of the bot tiers that will affect their operation and power settings effectively. So you can maximize the bots you have by acquiring research bots and spending them. I don't think we're going to implement some of the requirements yet. I think that can be a later version because, do the research bots consume it all at the start? If they don't have it at the start, do they... there's some questions of how do we deplete that over time and all that fun stuff. So I think we can push this off into the distance here related to the item database. Item research prereqs and item adding can all go into the next version. Okie dokie. Cool. So, alright. Well, with that in mind, let's see. Research. Okay, just looking at our bonus per day. Power per day bonus is an integer. I wonder what that was thinking. Like a reduction by percentage? Or a reduction based on a fixed amount? I don't know. Okay. Well, anyways, so when we're calculating the power usage and everything like that, that's happening as that is calling a function way back here on the bot instance itself to get the power per day. Okay, so that's easy enough. So now, we talked about this briefly earlier this week. We have a get power per day and get ops per day. We need to throw some events on this so they can be modified by research code units. So my thinking is that yeah, we're going to have a single research code unit that subscribes to these events, and when our research bots finish researching something, do they throw an event? Well, we modify the progress as it goes. Okay, that's cool. We validate it too, so okay, so in the player research validation on this, definition, okay, so here in our progress we validate if this goes completed, then it just does true. Okay. We should probably explicitly throw events when this gets completed. Okay, that feels reasonable. That when completion happens of a research, we throw an event. We won't do anything special with that right now because that's really all about unlocking the different item categories. But as a to-do item, throw event for unlocking. That makes sense. Cool. And otherwise, we can just create a new little research listener. And that's okay. So let's do that. And all we're going to listen for now are those bot instance calls where we're getting the power and everything like that, which means we need to throw some events. And then later on in the same code unit, we'll hook in some event listeners to listen for the progress completion on research instead. Okay. From a player perspective, what does the research list look like? Before we get too in the weeds of what we're doing here. Okay. So Alright, so we've got the ability to flag what research do we want to do. In a long-term sort of way, I want to do a really cool UI for this. I think there's some great JavaScript that we're going to be able to pull into this and let the player kind of scroll through it as a tech tree type thing, like a lot of games will let you do. And we will do that with JavaScript custom controls rather than trying to do this with a basic list form. Are we doing that today? No. Are we doing that this week? No. But we're gonna, because I want to do it. I think it'd be really cool to have like a flowy tree of information of like what are we unlocking, and then we could potentially have different lanes for the different techs. It'll be good. Okay. So from a player perspective, we just see a list of what research is not currently hidden. Okay. And we've got it flagged that if it has prerequisites and we've not met them, that it can be hidden. Okay. I'm alright with that. Okay. Did we implement that functionality where that hidden actually matters? That's a good question. Let's see, we got basic bots improvement. I think we handled that through the prerequisites. So let's check again. Research setup. I think so. So let's look here at the research list. This is just coming from research progress. So, nope. Interesting. I truly and honestly don't remember how we did this. So this is me re-exploring my own code going, what did we do? Which is a massive reason of why I have a huge pile of to-dos and a guide. Okay, so I guess then the question is, from a player perspective, how did this table get populated? I have no idea. How did we populate that table? This right here. Huh. We've got the select functionality in place, and that lets us choose what research and everything. Where did we, Okay. So, when we initialize the player, we're initializing all of the research that has 0 prerequisites immediately. Huh. That's not the right way to do that, is that? Because we also have like the hidden, well, the hidden if unmet means that it has prerequisites, so 0, it's already excluded. Okay. Alright, yeah, okay. That means then there's nothing in place right now that when you complete research number 1 here, that the second one will show up. So in fact, we do need that completion. Okay. Alright, we do need the completion event. And we need it sooner than I thought. I'm okay with that. Okay, this is the research setup table, not progress. Okay. I like the fact that the to-dos are flagged in the code here, in the map, so we can see that. Okay, so we could just go ahead and hook onto modify on the progress table rather than specifically throw an event, but I'd rather throw an event explicitly. I think we can do that. A little fuzzy. Let's find out. On after complete Yeah, research progress complete. Sure. Extra S's because we're awesome. Yeah, rec, yes. And if we do, aha. Oh, well, look at that. Because I named it on, the magic wizardry of the extensions realizes that I would like some event system stuff going on here. I would like an integration event. Yeah, that sounds good. Poof, done. Nice. Okay, well, that's cool. Alright. So, that means that we can bop over to creating our new listener for the research unlocker. Sure. I'm not sure that's the name I'm going to give it, but Event Master. Sure. Just making up stuff now. I have no idea. Alright. Let's subscribe to that event that we just created, which is on our table. Wait. Broke my autocomplete. Oh well. BCS research progress. Yep. And after research progress complete. Cool. Now, if I had done this a smart way, I would have just gone to the object designer, filtered on workspace events, and then I wouldn't have had to type all this stuff. That would have been smarter. Habits, yay. Oh. I got all excited for a minute that maybe it would fix my oversight here, but nope, that's alright. On after research progress complete. Let's call this do. After research. There we go. Cool. Alright, so for this one, when we're done with a given research, we need to look at that bell. Man, caused me so much trouble. We have prerequisites on this operations thing to be the next one up for this, but we have some invalid prerequisites on this. They're just blank lines, so let's delete the blank lines so that this is properly tidied up here. There we go. Okay, so now theoretically this silly thing here only has a prerequisite of this one operation. So what we can do is we need a clever little code unit that will do some crawling around and go, are the prerequisites all met for a given research setup entry? Because we can do a filter on the requirements and put together a list of these are all the research things that require it. So, okay, alright, we're going to drop that for now. So let's see. We need to filter on all of the research setup entries that have this as a prerequisite. The one we've just completed. And then we need to check on each of them. So we can fudge this a little bit and do something clever here, I think. Here on our setup table, we've got the, no, table, not the page. We've got this prerequisite flow field. Yes, here we are. Okay, we've got a count. We can possibly do something clever with flow filtering here, where we can say we only want the item that have prerequisite as a count underneath it. So We could do this with a calc formula here on this field and incorporate that flow filter, but I think we'll just do a separate one. Just so that way we can have it be nice, clean, and discrete info, because we don't need a count, we just need a is there any prerequisite. Requirement filter, because actually we'll call it research requirement filter. Yeah. Research rec filter, which is going to be a code 20, and this will be a field class. Hopefully, because I admit I'm not having a very good explaining week. Hopefully this will start to come together in a way that makes sense to people as we're going through things here. Let's see, we are research is an integer, not a code. My bad. Okay, so we are going to apply a filter for a given research, and since that's a flow filter, now we will do a flow field has research requirement, and this will be Boolean. I think I can do what I'm trying to do. Flow field calc formula equals exist, which is kind of a flow field equivalent to is empty. And what we are going to do is we are going to do we're going to take this one where we're doing a lookup to see what oh man, some of those yellows on white are really hard to see. Okay, I might have to change that for the purposes of streaming when I do the light background. Okay, so right now we're going to do an exists where research equals this, and where requirement type is equal to const of research, and the requirement, the research number, no, it's the prerequisite. Okay. Prerequisite equals field well, let's grab filter here. Okay, so now that I'm done trying to type and think at the same time and talk, in the research prerequisite table for this given research, check to see if there is a type of research prerequisite under here in the requirements list, and if the requirement filter has a value in it, then we should get a yes or no. Let's take a look. We're gonna make these visible on the page so we can test this out and show show better than I'm explaining. As research requirement. I solemnly swear I can type. Just been doing it all day. It's been a very typey day. Okay, so we need to add to our setup table the field has research requirement. Blank. Application area, all, goal, and a quick publish. And thankfully my invalid and broken XML permission files do not prevent the publishing, they just won't show up, so we got that going for us. Okay, this is pretty much the most complicated part of the day, is just the deciding how to unlock the next research as appropriate. So the actual event hooks to modify the power consumption per day and operations per day is much simpler in comparison. So, okay, yes, error. So many errors. Oh no. Research setup. Okay, so now we've got a filter totals by because we've added a flow filter, and we can do a research requirement. And check this out. So if we look at has research requirements, we're going to get some yes on this one. If we say, does it require 3? No, this does not require 3. Does it require 1? Yes. Yes, it does. So by we can calculate the existence of a prerequisite research based on the value of this filter. So now we can do a list and say has a research requirement of yes. So we can super simple quick say, when a research is complete, say it's research 4, are there any researches that had this as a prerequisite? No, there are not. So we don't have to do anything. So this gives us a nice, clean, easy way to do just a couple of quick filters and then let the engine give us a result rather than write a function like has prerequisites. So you can sometimes get very creative in how you can use flow filters to build your data set in a way that's useful to you. I encourage it because frankly it's more efficient to do stuff like this. This will handle it all in the engine, and the engine is almost assuredly more efficient than you are, no matter how good you are, sorry to say. Okay, so now in our event master we can do something pretty cool. We are going to need to have our main research setup. So research, holy moly, not a good day to be typing research apparently. Research. Maybe I should name things a little clearer, because research, this is the master entry, and then this is the progress towards that. I don't know. There might be some cleanup in the thinking to give things better names and labels. That's fine. So research setup, we are going to set the filter on the prerequisite, research requirement filter to rec.number. And now we can set range on has research requirement. Yes. True. Jeez, brain. And you can tell I've been working in Classic, I'm capitalizing things unnecessarily. It's not research, it's not rec.number, is it? Did I goof up in my table design? What? Hang on a sec here. Did I goof something? No. Integer is a number. Or number is an integer. Number is an integer. Research rec work filter. Okay. And we're research project number. What the heck? Oh, I'm doing set filter. Jeez. Well, I don't have a Marauders map, so I can't swear I'm solemnly up to no good, but I can swear I'm solemnly swear I'm up to lots of typos. Alright. Anyways, so now we have a nice, easy way to say we can look through all of the research master information to go, have we already done this? And if not, is it now ready to unlock? Okay. So let's do an if check. If already research setup, start the loop. Holy moly. Brains. Repeat. Repeat. Yeah. Research setup. Okay. We do the if inside the loop. So if not already researched, then if ready to unlock, yep, research setup, then unlock research. Trying to be a good egg and do the, like, make it readable function naming. So we'll see how that goes for us. So we'll create the procedure, create this procedure, and create this procedure. Sure. Okay, so already researched, not too terribly complicated. We need to look in the current company in the research progress. So, research progress, if this exists in here and is flagged as completed, then we're all done and we've already researched it. Easy enough. Set range, and our primary key is identical, so we don't have to worry about that. Research progress, completed, true. Oh, what the heck just happened? Whoa, holy moly, my brain is just not up to snuff today. I'm glad that I'm recording this for posterity. Thank you everyone for your patience sticking with this. On the bright side, I am not a pilot. We are not going to crash into a mountain. Alright, so for this given research setup, do we have it and is it completed true? If this is empty for any reason, then it's not already researched. This could be the case because the research is unlocked. This could also be the case because it is not unlocked yet. And either way, if it is empty, then the answer is no, it is not already researched. I almost always end up using not with is empty. It's really interesting. Syntactically, my brain really wants there to be a matching is not empty, just so I don't constantly have to write the not to negate and then read the sentence in a weird structure. Small things. Alright, so now we at least have that if handled, and we have to go, okay, for a given research, we need to iterate through check all prereq conditions, which we know materials is definitely a thing. Research materials prereq, just so we're a little clearer in the to-do tree. Okay, so res progress, yep. We don't actually need the research progress, so that's fine, but we do need the research prereq. Yep, there we go. And we do need, we can hook onto our already researched function. How lovely. Beautiful. Okay. let's see. I'm just thinking about the looping process and how to be efficient with this, because as soon as we hit the first prerequisite that isn't met, we can immediately stop checking, because we don't need to present the user a list of, out of the 10, here are the 5 you're missing. We just need to go yes, no. So we can probably be pretty efficient with this. Cool. Okay, so all the research prerequisites range, we're only going to do the research types. There we go. We only care about research for now. So let's do all the research processing, and that's our repeat. Yes. There we go. Res prereq. Because it seems like today the less typing I do, the better. If not, whoa, thank you Multi-Select for your cooperation in this matter, but we do not need you at this time. If already researched, res. Here we're passing it a research setup, but we have a research prerequisite, so that's not going to help us. We need to have res. This is also going to be our BCS research table. Here, up in this function, I'm passing it the whole record, but really all we're making use of is the number. So I'm thinking a quick little refactor will make this code call easier. We will have to do less gets, and that is a good thing. So let's drop that. We're going to change that up and say we're pass the research number, and this will be the research number, which will be an integer, and then here we will pass this research number, and now we can just pass it the res prereq dot research, prerequisite. There we go. Now we have a nice little user call, and we can say if this is not already researched, then exit false. And then finally, if we make it through all of the research prerequisites and they're all researched, then we will exit true at the end of the function. We'll fall all the way down. Nice and simple. And what we can do is later we'll leave that research requirements in place and later do the materials check after we're done with all the research things. And I'm structuring it like that because this is a teeny tiny amount of just is empty checks for all of the potential research conditions. It could be 1, could be 10, whatever have you. When we do the material requirement checking, we have to not only do we have to know what material is involved, but we then have to go do an expensive calculation to see how many items are in stock for that material, and that might be across multiple. So it's a good idea to go with the less expensive checks first and bail out before we hit the expensive ones. So just a little bit of a thinking flow there. All right. Okay, so if you're all ready to unlock, then we are going to need to have also the res progress here again. And when we did the player company initialize here, we just did, okay, it's just transfer fields. Cool. That's nice. Excellent. Yeah, so For that given research setup, we just do res progress, transfer fields, res setup, and that's that easy. Now it's unlocked. Huh. Cool. It doesn't know what to do with the way I've... There we go. Okay. Alright, so that's a nice and simple event. So now when a research is complete, if we need to unlock any related research, we will do that. Easy enough. Alright, let's do the super speedy and simple. We're gonna create some new on get power per day, on get ops per day, on get research per op per day, whatever have you. These are the upgradable things, the power and ops, so we're gonna start there. So, on before get power per day, rec, and we'll create an event. Cool. And I cannot tell you how much I am digging the event handling here. Get ops per day, rec, whip, whip. Ta-da! Okay, so now we've got two events that we can, whenever they fire, we want our research event master to watch for those. So let's do that. And let's be a little smarter with ourselves given how poorly I'm typing today. And grab our new events. I feel like I am going blind here, so let's assume the object designer is wanting me to package up, package things up, and then it'll show us what's what. Loading. I want just my workspace events. Huh? I am confused. Yeah, we got some output issues from my XML death problems there, but what's the story? We created those event on the bot instance table. Integration events. We've got those. Okay. Well, when in doubt, reopen your Visual Studio Code. If something's being weird, just try turning it off and on again. Nothing. Oh man. I think it only explores the events on the code units. Or, alternatively, let's try, just for giggles, we'll do a quick publish with those events. Thank you, Visual Studio. I will not update while I'm on stream. Yes. Okay. And we'll see if the object designer brings that. If not, then we'll just code them up in just a sec ourselves here. That's fine. I could see the possibility. Wow. I'm wondering if it only sees code unit events. Okay. What a bizarre thing. And it sees them here. Okay. Yeah, it's just not not seeing, because it didn't see the on research complete either. Okay, well, we're not going to fight with it that much on camera, because that's just not useful for us. Okay, we're going to hook onto our database, our BCS bot. Hello? Yes, instance. And my on-screen was messing with me. Alright, so let's start with ops per day. Sounds fine. True. Okay. Adjust ops per day. And that'll take that bot instance, which now I believe on here we do have the bot tier. Good. Okay, excellent. We're going to just copy and paste this down, and we're going to do get power per day and adjust power per day. So we've got the footprint for both these in place. Okay, so now what we need to do is for this given bot, the research, let's clear this filter out of here, because, yes, thank you. Okay, so these are specifically going to be looking for operation bonus types or power bonus types that are to the bot template, and then we'll filter on the operation bonus code based on the bot tier. Easy enough. Okay, yeah. And that way we'll have the ability for the players to invest in improving their bots. So that makes sense. And what we will do is we are going to add per day, one operation per day. And then I guess, let's go look at bot template. Base power per day. 10 for a tier 1, I guess, was my random arbitrary selection. So I guess what we'll do on the power per day is we'll do integers that are decreasing the power cost per day. That seems okay. And then later, as we get the more complex tiers of bots that are maybe to start using like 50 or 80 power per day, then the upgrades could be worth 5 per day decrease, something like that. We'll just do it as straight integers up and down. That way it's easy to understand what's going on. So what we need to do then is we need to see what research is complete for this player, which is going to be record BCS research progress. Cool. And then we need to, let's see, since it was a transfer field, we should be able to do, first of all, a set range on completed, always, because if it's not complete, then it's not relevant for our needs. We can set range on our operation bonus type to bot templates. And res progress, set range, because again we haven't done upgrade kits yet. That's an assembled or manufactured thing, so that's a much later to do. And then the bonus code is going to be our rec.bot tier. No, we don't have which template this bot was made from, do we? Oh no. That's a pretty massive oversight. We can deduce it based on the bot type and tier, but you know, it's possible you'd have a matching tier of a matching type. Ugh, okay, wow, we missed a fundamental underpinning to the system. Whew. Okay, let's fix that pretty big oversight. Right now, we are already looking at the bot instance table here. That's cool. Good stuff. Bot tier. We are going to do bot template code to see which bot template this came from. Yay! Alrighty. We're gonna do the table relation even though there won't be a lookup, just in case of renames. And we don't have to specify, we can just point at the table. The primary key is assumed. So there we go. Okay, and then in our bot management, when we do the buying the bot here, we create the instance. We need to store which template it came from. Yeah. Boy, what an oversight. Cool. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so now back at this level, it's not going to help us with our current bots, but I was going to create some new test companies anyways. Tomorrow is going to be, I think, all about play testing. We're going to try it out. We're going to take it for a spin, see how it plays. And that way I know how to record the how to play it. Cool. So now, theoretically, we should have any research that applies to this bot. So then now we can, we're calling adjust ops per day, and does that make sense? I'm just looking at the footprint of how we're doing this. We definitely need to pass the bot instance because we need to look at the template and everything like that. But we should really not just pass back the rec. We should have the calculated power per day as a decimal here and include that in the event for modification. But what we will do is we'll do calculated power per day starts as the rec.power per day, and then we pass that calculated power per day as a var. Yes, that will make more sense. Okay, is power per day decimal? It is. Alright, and that way we can modify it without trying to modify the record, because we don't really want to modify the record. And now we need to do the same footprint in our ops per day. Okay. Some days you can kind of see all the code you need to write right from the start. Some days, nope. Some days you can't. Okay. Cool. Alright. That fixes up the event, and now the event will properly handle some things, but we need to fix our footprints in here because we need our I think it's actually just complaining because I've got my code structured wrong. That's fine. There we go. Now we have a calculated ops per day. So what we can do with this is, there we go. Almost forgot that. Alright, so as we go through all of our relevant completed research, we will then take the calculated ops per day equals calculated ops per day minus the res progress dot, nope, it's plus. Holy moly. This is ops, not power. And I don't feel the need to put a ceiling on this. If someone wants to misbalance this and make it go crazy and say, you know what, you get 4,000 operations per day, power to you, that's fine. We don't have to do anything else with that. That's it. Nothing to it there. Now the power per day, let's fix our input here. Cool. Excellent. Same exact logic as we did up above. Fix our format there. But we're going to swap it in for some power. Okay. So this is power bonus type. Power bonus type, operation. And now we do calculated power per day, and as I've stumblingly almost incorrectly said above, we are doing minus in the power situation, and we're subtracting the power per day. Now, at any point, if all of the upgrades drop the power to this down to 0, well then, for one, interesting balancing problems. 2, quite the green power bot, that's cool. But we should floor it to 0. So if calculated power per day is less than 0, then I don't want to introduce any mechanics at this time that allow for you to upgrade your bots to become walking generators. That seems overpowered. I'm almost inclined to say the ceiling, the floor on this is 1, but we'll go ahead and drop it down to 0 as a maximum. Okay, cool. Well, there we go. We have unlockable research, and we have it in a way where the player will slowly see their research list grow. Okay. Well, then that's not too shabby. I guess we didn't quite get to play testing and tidying up, so let's kind of talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be some play testing. So our objectives for tomorrow is before, I think I'll do before the episode, I'm going to create the bot tiers for being 0.1 and ensure all the remaining items that are the raw materials are set up. Let's see. Delete the dead companies. Restart the jobs. And let's see, I don't think we have anything in the system yet when we're creating a new player. Nothing creates the new jobs. So I will leave that for now, and that way I can set up the player companies in advance. We'll create 3 new player companies, and we'll try testing it out and seeing how they work tomorrow. So for that, we will also, so we'll change that to on camera, create the heartbeat jobs. We are going to delete snapshots because it's all just test data. We want that cleared out. We want to clear all logs. Kind of refresh all of our data and everything like that. We could accomplish all this with some different methods, but this will work okay. And then I also need a few research per bot tier. So the bots that I'm going to make in advance for tomorrow is sales, purchasing, research, marketing, and logistics. Basic. So I will make a few tiers of each, I think, and that'll work pretty well. Probably just 2 or 3. Nothing too crazy. And then we'll create a few researches that improve each of those over time. Okay. All right. Later on, when we get into the game of upgrade kits, then that will introduce some of the variable flexibility that players will have around, how do they want to specialize? Do they want higher throughput? They want cost reduction, and we'll have a little more flexibility there. And really, when they get into the tier 2 and 3 items, I think that's when we're going to get our real shining situation on players choosing how to differentiate. Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we need to do our on-screen just playtest. The stuff that is coming and that I would like to do, I would also like to do stuff like assisted setup and that sort of thing, so that way a new company knows what's what. But this is a pretty lengthy list, and I've got some homework to do. For example, I've got to get all this cleaned up and set up, and I really need to get some of the backlog of streams uploaded to YouTube. They're up, I just now need to get them published, so it took a little while to upload all of them, but they're there. And this weekend we really need to give a recap. It's been 21 episodes since the last recap, so time flies. Okay, so we've got basic research functionality, so I think tomorrow we're going to on-screen set up with the 3 companies. We're going to start setting up some bots, we're going to buy some stuff, and we're going to see how that plays. What do we need to know? What do we need to figure out? What do we need to document? And people can come play in the pool next week. That's going to be wacky. Alright, well, thanks for sticking around. It's been a bumpy day, but that is development for you. Sometimes the code just flows, and then other times you stumble through and get there eventually. And today was definitely the second. But we have a functional research engine and something to try out tomorrow. Alright, thanks everyone. Take care.